I got into entrepreneurship because I wanted to show my parents and prove to them that, hey, there's multiple ways to become successful, and I don't need to become a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer to do it. So watch me. That's the slogan. MMM right here, more time, more money, more freedom. Lost a couple $1 million in the stock market. Went to full-on depression. I was pretty messed up in the head. I slept on my mentor's couch in Philadelphia for like 4 to 6 months. You know, me doing it for myself is one thing, but like changing someone else's perspective on life and helping someone else like literally put food on the table for his parents, change their lives, that's crazy. Bro.
People try to hoard everything for themselves. They think they're keeping more for themselves and there's less for others, and I'm gonna win that way, but they're actually not fulfilling what they're internally, innately designed to do, which is we're put here to gather knowledge and resources and things and then share it and spread it. My brother,
Bismillah.
great to have you here.
Thanks, bro, for having me.
Let's talk to the people. Introduce yourself. Who am I here with?
Let's chop it up. My name is Reed. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I own a few businesses. I do a bunch of Airbnbs. So yeah.
Okay. Where you grew up? Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland. I actually grew up in this place called Rockville, Maryland. It's in Montgomery County. So I actually passed by my elementary school today. Pretty good experience, you know. Grew up in that neighborhood with a bunch of rich trust fundies and kids who have a lot of money, and so yeah, it's a good experience to go back into like kind of, it's a full circle moment. Everything really is.
Yeah. How was it getting out of your hometown?
How was it? Like how hard?
How hard, but also, you know, like fulfilling.
Yeah, so getting out of my hometown was the most, like, getting out of my hometown was hard because it was a mental thing for my parents, right? Because Middle Eastern parents, brother, we like to stick close and they don't like to let their sons or daughters leave the household. And it's like when the final person leaves the nest, it's kind of a big wake up call to them. They're like, oh shit, like, you know, so I had a lot of pressure from them on that side. And I also had a lot of pressure from my friends as well, because a lot of my friends were comfortable. They had jobs in local. None of them were really entrepreneurs. So for them, like leaving the hometown wasn't really an option. But for me, I knew I had to expand my reach. I knew I had to get out of my comfort zone. And it was just killing me, dude. The complacency was killing me inside of my hometown. So I had to figure a way out to get the hell out, right?
Yeah.
So
you mentioned you're the last one in the nest. So you have older siblings?
Yeah, 2 older brothers. They're both dentists. So they made it out first. Into the Matrix they went. And I couldn't. I was like,
they got him,
bro.
They got him. What do you think made your mindset so different with it, though, when you saw them going that route? And I'm sure they're doing well for themselves, you know?
Yeah.
What made you different with your mindset, and why didn't you go down that path?
The biggest reason why I got into entrepreneurship was to prove my parents wrong. And I know everyone says like, oh, don't get into entrepreneurship, or don't do anything for anyone else. Do it for yourself. Do it because you're passionate about it. No, like I got into entrepreneurship because I wanted to show my parents and prove to them that, hey, there's multiple ways to become successful, and I don't need to become a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer to do it. So watch me. You know what I mean?
So you're that stubborn, hard-headed youngest child, right?
Yeah, dude, that chip on the shoulder is all I needed to just go full force and just to rip it, dude.
Man, yeah. That's how it be with the youngest childs, man.
Yeah.
No. Take us back to the beginning. What motivated you to get into real estate and Airbnb at such a young age?
Dude, I mean, 9 out of 10 millionaires are created through real estate. And it was just the fastest way for me to obtain financial freedom and to get the time, the more money and the more freedom and everything that I ever wanted in my life. It was the cleanest and quickest way to my goal, right? And I knew that I always wanted to do it. I just didn't know how. And I found something called Airbnb Arbitrage. I got into that, started doing that a little bit. I also did some wholesaling. I also did some fix and flips. Mm-hmm. I tried the Section 8. Like I tried everything. Right? A lot of people hate on Airbnb, and a lot of people hate on Section 8, and they just like shit on each other. But like I tried everything in real estate, and I love real estate in general because it's one of the only industries that will give you like equity, appreciation, cash flow, tax benefits, and all those things. So I knew it was where I had to end up. I mean, I was looking at the statistics. All my rich friends' parents owned real estate, and I was just like, I have to do this.
Okay. So you said more time, more money, and more freedom.
Yes, sir.
That's
the slogan. MMM right here. More time, more money, more freedom.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like, everyone's like, oh, well, what do you think the definition of happiness is? Or do you think you're a happy person? And I'm like, dude, yeah, I feel like I'm very fulfilled. And they're like, well, how do you achieve fulfillment? What's your definition of fulfillment? And I literally tell them more time, more money, more freedom. Because if you have all those things, what else do you need?
Yeah, I'd agree, because I think a lot of people chase happiness, but then they have so many obligations and things they're worried about, stress from family relationships, bills, whatever it may be. So they don't have enough time to focus on the things that could make them happy. But when you have that time, money, and freedom, you can focus on whatever it is. Like, your schedule's more free. You can travel, you can go where you want, you can visit your hometown, you can go to Florida.
Yeah, I truly believe that people who are like, money doesn't buy happiness, either just don't have money or don't know what to do with the money. So I always tell them, like, hey, if money doesn't buy happiness, that's cool, bro. Like, give me the money and I'll show you what to do with it. I'll show you how happy I have to be. Like, look at the fucking smile on my face.
I like to say that it's like the vehicle that can take you to it, right? It's not happiness in and of itself, but it's that tool that you can use to go do that thing. Because if you have money to, keep your family good and everything's taken care of, you can spend more time with them. They don't have to go to work. You're not worried about that. So I like that a lot too.
That's the biggest thing. I was literally watching this interview the other day of this like guy who exited his company for like $3 billion, and he's like this big hedge fund investor. And like he literally goes live on a podcast like this, and the interviewer is like talking to him, and like he's like, okay, well, like, what's next? You just sold your company for $3 billion. Like, how do you feel? Are you happy? Are you relaxed? Are you fulfilled? And the dude just goes, no, I still feel like there's just this void inside of me that I'm not filling. And I'm like, and then in the comments and stuff on the Instagram video, I saw like everyone's like, yeah, I knew it. Money doesn't buy happiness. Yeah. I knew there was no point in becoming rich. And I'm like, dude, you're comparing your state of mind to a billionaire state of mind.
Yeah.
Right. So like,
once you get there, you can talk about that.
Like the dude, bro's probably like retired his family, set his generation up for like success, right? Has a trust set up for all of his kids. Like first, let's do all those things and then come back to me and say, hey, money doesn't buy happiness.
It's kind of like a cop out, right?
Yeah, it's a cop out.
They haven't done the work yet to be in that position and then think that way. So definitely, yeah. You were mentioning earlier, when you were younger and you were thinking about real estate, you said 9 out of 10, people who are successful are in real estate, etc. How did you come across like your knowledge or background of real estate? Did you have like anybody before you got a mentor who was just telling you, hey, like this is the wave, or you were just simply like on Google, how do I get rich without going the traditional route? Yeah,
so I had an ATM business when I was 17. That didn't go well. I got a couple lawsuits from that business. Long story short, I signed a 2-year contract with this bar to put my ATM into their bar. And then they came back like 3 months later and told me I had to get my ATM out because they were setting up their own ATM. And I was like, dude, we have a 2-year contract set up. And
on paper?
On paper, yeah. But then I was 17. So they had their lawyers sent me a cease and desist. And they were like, you can't even legally be of age to sign contracts. And they threatened to take me to court. Dude, I was scared shitless. I just shut the entire business down. So that was my first business that went to shit.
They bullied you?
They bullied me, yeah, exactly. And then I got into, I worked at an investment banking internship. My friend set me up with a really, really good investment banking internship. And I worked directly with the CEO of the company. And I did that for a while. That kind of sparked my interest and got me into trading. So when I was like 19, 20 years old, I got into trading heavily, right? I was trading like options contracts. I was doing all that GameStop, GME stuff, like with the Wall Street bets. And like in March of 2020, when the stock market crashed, I was doing all that stuff. I was investing heavy into pharmaceutical companies. I invested into a lot of oil companies as well around that time, like Shell, Exxon, BP, all these companies. And then I made a lot of money. I made a lot of money trading, but I didn't know how to risk manage my positions. I didn't know how to dollar cost average my positions or like take profits. I thought I was a shit. Like when you're making money in life, you feel like you're the smartest person in the world. Like
at a young age,
especially at a young age, you feel like you're unstoppable. Like you never really get put into that place until you get tested. Once you get tested and you lose money or everything goes to shit, then how you respond to those situations and that crisis is what turns you into a seasoned entrepreneur. So I wasn't seasoned back then. I was just making quick cash and I was like, oh, this is great. Obviously lost it all. Lost a couple $1 million in the stock market. Went to full on depression. I was pretty messed up in the head. My biggest mistake was telling my parents too. because I told my parents I was trading, and because I was trying to like, you know, manage their expectations up front, because eventually my goal was to trade enough and make enough money where I could quit and drop out of high school or college.
So they wouldn't be pushing that traditional path.
Exactly, right.
And you were giving them that social proof.
Yeah, I was trying to like show them my like profits. I was showing on my accounts how much I was making, because I was a junior in college at University of Maryland, and I was trying to drop out, and I wasn't trying to graduate. Yeah, dude, and that was my biggest mistake. I was telling them that I was trading and making money, because when I lost it, they were also asking me what happened, and I had to break it to them. So it was a really, like, when I lost all that money, my parents were like happy, because they thought that I would finally give up on entrepreneurship.
You're like, I told you so.
Yeah, like, oh, I told you so. Okay, now you're going back to school. But little did they know that's all the fuel I needed to go double down and go 10 times
You
harder.
saw a little bit of success.
I saw a little bit of success. I tasted a little bit of blood, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm going all in now.
Yeah. So, but talk about that pivot then. Like I was originally asking. When
That's it, dude. I was like, the richest people in the world that I know trade stock and own assets, whether it's non-tangible asset like stock or it's tangible asset like real estate, right? And I was like, okay, well, this whole stock thing just didn't work out. So what's next? So it's real estate now. Let me just invest into real estate, right? Because I was following all the Warren Buffetts and all these guys and investing into, but then I just got into real estate heavy. And then one day I just woke up and I was like, literally, I found myself Googling on my computer. It was at like 4 a.m. I woke up because I couldn't sleep, dude. My sleep was so messed up for that 6 months.
The stress was keeping you up.
The stress was crazy, bro. Because I was like, okay, I lost everything. I'm a junior in college. Now I have a solid 2 years before I graduate to figure this shit out. If I can't figure this shit out, dude, I'm either going to have to go to get my MBA or go back to school. I'm screwed. So like, dude, that was like the pressure that I needed, because that 2-year mark changed everything for me. I found a mentor. I invested heavy into myself. I got into wholesaling. I moved out of my hometown and lived on my mentor's couch. It was a really crazy experience. And then,
where was that?
I slept on my mentor's couch in Philadelphia for like 4 to 6 months. Yeah, it was. The dude's a multimillionaire, but he lived like a slumlord. So his house was like a shotgun row home. And like with like broken windows and like fucked up AC and shit, and like one bathroom for like 4 of us in the entire house. Still have videos of it. It's crazy.
Probably drove your mind crazy too. You're like, am I really doing the right thing?
Yeah, dude, I was doubting myself every single step of the way, man. And I didn't make any money. I was literally I was his bitch boy. I was like cleaning his dishes, cleaning the fucking house. And in return, he would just teach me how to cold call and like cold call his leads and stuff. So I'd work for him for free and do bitch work for free. And, but dude, like that shaped me into the person I am today, because now like I help other people through like coaching and mentorship as well. But I also like fly a lot of my students out. I've had interns and students sleep on my couches and do the same thing with me. Obviously I don't have them clean my dishes or anything. That was a little bit extreme. Yeah, dude, it's all about giving back. So, and like mentorship is something that truly changed my life. And like money aside, everything aside, like I genuinely am fulfilled. Going back to that sense of fulfillment that I get, right? I feel so fulfilled in helping other people, right? Some kid came to me yesterday at the end of the event, and he was like, dude, I came to your first conference in DC 2 years ago. I didn't even know who he was, dude. I was washing my hands in the bathroom before the event like started. Yeah. And he walked in, he was like, yo, Reed, what's up? And it's so awkward whenever people are like, yo, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. But his name is Jimmy. So Jimmy walked up to me. He's like, dude, you remember me, bro? And I'm like, no, not really, bro. But he's like, yeah, I came to your event 2 years ago. I got my first property at your event. And now fast forward to today, I now have 5 properties. Wow. And I'm like, what the hell? Are you serious? And this happens pretty frequently, but like this story really got me, bro, because bro has 5 properties now, all doing $2,000 to $3,000 in passive income. And he's making around like $10,000 to $12,000 in passive income, cash flow, profit, like take home. He's doing around like 30,000 in rev, around 10 to 12 in just cash flow per month. And now He's coming to me. I don't even know who this guy is. He's not even in my program. I haven't even been coaching him or mentoring him. So just from my videos and the inspiration that he got from my story and my previous events.
Free game.
That's it. Free game, right? And so he took that, implemented it into his own business. Now he has like 5 properties. And guess what? He wants to sell a few of them, liquidate, exit out of those houses, and start buying Airbnbs. And so now I have literally a call set up with him today to help him do that. But it's crazy. It's like a full circle moment.
That's awesome.
Because, that's what like drives me. Like that fulfillment, money aside, all the bullshit aside, like that's like another high for me. Like just, me doing it for myself is one thing, but like changing someone else's perspective on life and helping someone else like literally put food on the table for his parents, change their lives. That's crazy shit, bro.
Yeah. I think we're like trees. I always tell people this in the sense that like, we get all these resources from our surroundings, our environment, like the earth. We pile them up, and then eventually we have to drop down the seeds and let other fruits grow and spread it so other people can grow. But some people try to hoard their resources and they become like a tree where the fruits on it wither, they fall down and the branches wither away and the tree dies. So if people try to hoard everything for themselves, they think they're keeping more for themselves and there's less for others and I'm going to win that way. But they're actually not fulfilling what they're internally, innately designed to do, which is we're put here to gather knowledge and resources and things and then share it and spread it.
Yeah,
so it's like
when good analogy.
Yeah, it's in the Quran and in scriptures and everything too. You talk about like the metaphors that we are to a tree, and that metaphor that it is for life. It's like it's really deep. I love that.
Yeah.
And I agree. That's definitely going to get you the most fulfillment. I want to go back to a few things because you were talking about when you were living in Philadelphia with your mentor. Not the best situation, living-wise, doing the dishes, being worked hard, not getting any pay.
Yeah.
How did you come to the conclusion that that was a better path than going back, doubling down into investing? You said you already saw big gains. You lost it all, but like you had proven success there.
Yeah.
Why not go back down that path instead, pivoted and get a mentor and
there was no hope. There was no plan back then, right? I was doing this shit by myself. I was trying to figure it out myself, but there was no exit strategy because I didn't know of an exit strategy. But when you follow a mentor, bro, when you follow someone who's been seasoned, going back to that word, been through the guts, been through the mud, been through the trenches, the ups and downs, the lows and highs, you start to learn that like, hey, yo, this shit's not easy, bro. Like it's very easy to make money, but like to keep it, invest it, and sustain it,
continue
and grow it, that's a whole nother game.
Yeah.
So that's when I realized, like, I really don't know shit about shit, right? And a lot of people, like, it's an ego thing. They think they know everything.
They don't want to get a mentor. They're like, I know it all. But
yeah, and they're like, oh, like, AI exists and ChatGPT exists, and I can do this myself. Like, sure, bro, but, like, do you know what to type into ChatGPT? Do you know how to operate the AI? Like, bro, like, ChatGPT is not going to give you real life experiences on like what to do in any given situation, right? So it's all just theory, right? So, dude, finding a mentor is so important because you're just gambling and you're a feather in the wind, just being pushed around without one. There's no clear path. You don't know what the hell you're doing without a mentor. But having one is like, for example, having a professor in school who actually knows what they're doing and guiding you through the right path. Now, a lot of professors in the modern education and academic systems totally messed up because the people who are put in positions to mentor and coach us have no credibility.
Teaching business classes, but they've never started a business.
Dude, we've all been lied to, bro. Our science teachers have never created science experiments. Our English teachers have never created a bestseller or posted or published a single book. Our business teachers have never created a single preneur or a single company. Like our fitness teachers are fat pieces of shits. Like, bro, let's be real, dude. So when I saw someone who's actually a millionaire, someone who's actually making money, someone who's actually living the life that I want to live myself, you're not fucking better than I am. Why don't I just learn from you?
They're no different than you and I.
Exactly. We all have blood going through our veins. We all breathe the same oxygen. We all, shit in the same fucking place. So it just makes no sense to me how people think that other people are either just gifted, better than them, talented. Like, we're all the same, dude. And we can all learn from each other.
Yeah. No, fully. Do you think you're always this way, or did it take like a mindset shift? Because I feel like a lot of younger people, they think that way, where it's like, okay, I don't need anybody to teach me the ropes. Maybe it's because parents or whoever, older siblings, and they thought maybe you had your older siblings telling you, hey, become a dentist, do it this way, do it my way, right? And you're like, no, I don't need a mentor. Yeah. When did you have that mindset shift, or were you always that way where you're like, okay, I'm humble enough to accept that, like, I don't know everything yet, and I can learn from somebody. And then eventually when I'm in that position, then I can be somebody's mentor.
Dude, you know what's funny? A lot of people in life need traumatic experiences to change their life around, right? Someone was telling me the other day on like how they got arrested and how they went to prison, how, you know, this stuff happened and they changed their life around. Like, or like one of my other friends got out of a relationship or went broke or whatever and changed his life around. Like dude, that is so important, bro, because you learn to not take things for granted.
Yeah.
And you turn into another person. For me, dude, it was just like the fear of being average, the average person in my family, right? And it was, my parents put enough shit on my shoulder and they gave me a big enough chip where I was like, I don't want to be the average person in my family. I don't want to be, you know, the third son who just failed out of college, who didn't become a dentist or didn't become successful.
Yeah.
Right. So it was, and I wasn't, at first, it was like, my why and my purpose was different. At first is I just wanted to prove to my parents that they were wrong, right? Because I was a kid. That's all I cared about, just proving my parents wrong.
A lot of times it starts that way.
It starts that way, right? And then after that, I was like, okay, well, now I proved my parents wrong. Let me prove my brothers wrong, right? Because in the beginning, my brothers didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, you're that's the I'm going after you.
Right, a hit list.
So, and then, dude, sooner rather than later, I realized like none of this shit matters, bro. Let me do this for me, right? Let me like actually, you know, develop good skill sets where I can live my best life, right? And I can help as many people and impact as many people as possible the same way my mentors did to me. And that's generally something I feel so fulfilled in doing. So my purpose and my why changed, you know, as I evolved into the different man that I am today. And now my why and my purpose today is completely different than what it was before. Right now, I'm trying to impact as much people as possible. I'm trying to give as much equity away to my business partners, help them eat, create a freaking empire, conglomerate of businesses, and I just wanna impact as many people as possible, bro.
I love it. So you started proving everybody around you wrong. Eventually, you have nobody left to prove wrong, and they're just turned into believers. Now you're doing it for yourself, and you're doing it to spread it. How did their mindsets change if they did? Your parents, your siblings, everybody around you, maybe friends, you know, everybody who was doubting you in the beginning and hating on it. How did their mindsets shift? Do they now want to get involved with what you're doing? Do they just watch from the sidelines and say, you know, you got lucky?
I wouldn't know because I don't talk to any of them. It's crazy. I don't talk to a single person from elementary, middle, high school, or college, or university. Like everyone I break bread with, or is involved in my life, I've met through social media, or my business partners, or my students, or my family. I don't talk to anyone else. I keep my circle really, really small because I've learned to be more at peace, especially getting more into my faith and like, you know, protecting my energy, bro. That's the most important thing because we all have limited amount of hours in a day, limited energy, and I don't need to go to prove something to someone from high school that never even gave a shit about me in the first place on, you know, like that's him and I'm going to let him think what he wants to think. And so now I'm at the stage of my life where I'm just at peace, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help as many people as possible who actually want to be helped. Because a lot of people, bro, they're like, yeah, I want to become rich. But like when you go to help them, they're not coachable. They're not coachable at all. That same person who came to my event 2 years ago who now has 5 properties, guess what? 5 minutes later, I spoke to another person who came to the event 2 years ago who has 0 properties still. And I'm like, it's so obvious. There's 2 types of people. There's winners and then there's losers. And the winners, difference between a winner and a loser is the winner decided to not quit, bro, to keep going.
Or
right?
just took action at all.
They took action. They like had the courage to start. First off, having the courage to start, bro, is really important and it's really crucial.
That's the hardest part.
Not many people take the first step. It's really difficult, right? But then like having the courage to start is something completely different with having the discipline to actually endure the process. You have to have both, bro. And with both, success is just inevitable. It'll happen by itself.
Yeah, just a result of the time. You talked about some of your losses earlier. You've been public about losing I think it was approximately $1.7 million. Can you walk us through that moment? What happened? How you felt?
Yeah.
And what you did after that?
That was when I was trading. So I invested the $25,000 that I had to my name at the age of 20 years old for my ATM business, and just working different server jobs. I was a cashier at this Persian restaurant called Moby Dick of Falls Grove in Rockville.
Now we know Moby Dick.
Yeah, dude. They were about to make me the manager, bro. I was working there for like 3 years, bro. I was scrubbing toilets and shit. They were like, okay, well now you could become a cashier. So I became a cashier, and then they tried to upgrade me to become a manager, and I was like, dude, this is too much.
I know you were almost a manager at Moby Dick. You should have led with that.
Atomic location, Falls Grove, Kenlands, Gaithersburg. Yeah, bro, I used to run it, bro. Yeah. I still go there now. I just, yeah. But so I used all my money that I saved up from those jobs. I used to work at Panera Bread as well, bro. Lito's Pizza. Everywhere, dude. Whatever I could do. I did construction for a while. So I used all my money I had into investing into the stock market through like high leverage trading. Like I was like leveraging myself. Like I would do options contracts, like really risky plays and stuff. And it's funny because at the time I created a community called, back then my company was called More Money Matters. Now it's MMM. But back then I created this community on Discord called More Money Matters. And that was just like literally giving people like my stock plays, like every single morning at 9:30 a.m. when the stock market opened, I would like go live trading. I would do some crazy stuff, bro. And, a lot of people made money with me. I think I was the last one left, holding the bag though. I went down with this shit, bro. Dude, in 6 months, it's all documented. Yeah. Right? In 6 months, I have all the screenshots. I went from $25,000 to $1.7 million, and then I lost it all. And so, that's when I got into real estate, bro.
But let's talk about that, like, because that we can skip past that, but it's like the way that affected you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. I think you said you went to a stage of depression and everything too. Like,
because think about like, dude, you're a multi-millionaire, right? On technically on paper, whatever. Mm-hmm. But you're like in real life, you're not, right? But like on paper you are, so mentally you think you are, and then you're also spending money like you are, dude. Like I was going to the clubs, bro. I was doing some crazy stuff, and my credit card debt like went through the roof. So like my original plan was this, right? I started off with $25,000 into my stock portfolio. I was going to tell myself I just wanted 100K, right? 100 grand. I was going to run it up from 25 to 100 grand. After I hit 100 grand, I was going to pull that 100 out and buy my first house, right? Because at the time I wanted to buy a $500,000 house, to put 20% down, 100,000. So I wanted just 100,000, bro, right? But then the thing was like, it's addicting. This game is so addicting. I went from $25,000 to $75,000 within like a week, and then I went from 75 jumped to like 220. So like I shot past my goal. Any rational person would have pulled the 100K out. I wasn't rational, obviously, at the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm at 220. Let me just hit like 300 and then I'm done. Dude, I went from 220 to 350. Then I said I was going to cash out at 500. I went from 350 to 600. Like I just kept like skyrocketing and passing my milestones. And then it was so addicting to the point where, I went from like $1 million to 1.5 to then I told myself I would cash out at 2. And then cause the thing with contracts is like, if you sell all your positions, you're kind of done. You can't like sell a few of them. And so I was just going to let it ride it out a little bit. But then like I lost a lot of money, and then I kept like putting more in, and I lost more and I kept putting more in. It was just a mental downfall from there. And that just messed me up, bro.
How did you deal with that? Like,
dude, I was
a therapist.
Yeah, bro. Gym, therapy. I tried therapy for a while. That didn't work. My therapist, every single day I would walk in, my therapist would just talk to me about my feelings. And I'm like, dude, I don't need to talk to you about my feelings, bro. Like I need a solution. Can you give me a tangible solution right now? And then like therapists are just, some therapists, don't get me wrong, are work and they're fine. But it's like, dude, I'm not going to come and talk to another grown-ass man about my feelings and then ask, if I'm suicidal or some shit every 5 minutes and how I'm You know, so I was like, fuck that. Fuck
I mean, I agree. I think they're bringing up a bunch of negativity and you're resurfacing it. It's once you think about it, it cycles back in your mind some more.
And the therapist himself they're so messed up in the head because
they see crazy people all day.
They hear all this crazy shit and then you expect them to give you advice on your life and their life is so messed up in the first place. Like I stopped, that's the thing, bro, is going back to protecting my energy. I stopped taking advice from people that I don't want to be
in the position of.
Right? Like I just, it's that simple. So therapist, you know, that lasted like a week. The gym was probably my best bet. Dude, I almost got heavy into like drinking and drugs and stuff, but then I started praying instead. So I just protected my faith in the gym. And dude, I would not go out for the next year and a half, bro. Straight. I would just go to school, class, come back home, gym, come back home, work on real estate, come back home. That's it.
Yeah. You were in your dude, winter arc.
Yeah, that was my winter arc. The trauma arc, winter arc, whatever you want to call it, dude. Yeah.
I think a lot of people go through that. It's needed.
That was like my why back then. It kept changing. That was my purpose, bro. Like that was the traumatic I went to jail, my girlfriend broke up with me moment, right? Mm-hmm. That was the traumatic moment right there. Like, that really messed me up. So, I was like, yeah, dude. And I had like hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit card debt too. Not only did I lose the initial $25,000 I started with, but I was like negative like $150K in credit
So, I also want to touch on how the environment around you was affecting that too. Because I feel like
it was terrible.
In moments when you're up, like you're talking about recently now, like you don't really care about the opinions of what people are saying, whatever, you're protecting your peace and everything. But when you're in that pit, when you're in that, you know, that hardship and that struggle, I feel like the voices around can become louder a lot of the times too, and they can really, you know, penetrate into your mind.
It was really loud, yeah.
It's affecting you, right?
Dude, at that moment, I was rethinking everything. I was rethinking about going and getting my MBA. All of a sudden, I was
Parents
like...
are telling you too.
All of a sudden, I was like, holy shit, my mom was right. My dad was right. I shouldn't have done this. Like, dude, I was doubting myself. It was crazy. Like, it's easy to doubt yourself, bro, when things don't go right and the way that you want them to go, because you're questioning every single move you've ever made in the last year, right? And so that is really when you have to, like, protect your sanity and your mental state of mind. Right? It's easy to not give a fuck what people think when you're rich and you made it in XYZ, right? And that's why, like, I encourage people to make money, is because, dude, I'm at the stage right now where, like, I can do whatever I want and I don't care, bro. Like, I speak how I want to speak. I don't care. Like, I eat whatever I want. I go do whatever I want. Like, back then, every single move and step I made, I would think what others would think. Mm-hmm. I was like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And so, bro, the easiest way to stop giving a shit is to make more money. You feel more confident, right? Dude, that was like peak moment for me. So, after that, I was like, all right, money's like the goal. Like, I need to make money to be able to not only help other people, but be at more peace with myself. Yeah. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what matters. I want to be at more peace with myself.
Yeah, you block that noise out, you know? I mean, I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, definitely. Like, when you're in that doubt stage, right?
Right.
So that was the gym, you would say? That was that
gym,
mentorship?
Bro. Gym, I was hitting PRs, dude. I was the best shape of my life. I shaved my head off. Yeah, dude, I did all that.
You had bald Reed.
I was bald, bro. Yeah, I'll post a picture.
Yeah, we gotta put a picture up.
I'll put a picture right here. Dude,
yeah, that's crazy.
I was diced. Yeah.
Man, I like the hair now.
Yeah, the hair now is yeah.
Yeah. Earlier you talked about Airbnb arbitrage. Obviously, like, we can talk about that for a while, but for the people watching who don't really know, can you, like, give a little bit of rundown? What is that exactly?
Yeah, so super simple. You're finding people who have houses and you're asking them to give their house to you on a legally binding contract, and then you're re-renting someone else's house on Airbnb. So for example, like, you go pay someone's mortgage on their house, you pay them the rent monthly, you take that house, you furnish it, you sign a legally binding contract, and you relist it on Airbnb, and you make double on Airbnb of what you have to pay in terms of rent. So it's the best business model if you don't have a ton of money to start, because you're just signing leases. You only need a few $1,000s to sign a lease. It's the best business model for someone who wants, like, really, really high cash flow, right? And for someone who wants to learn how to get into real estate and run a business. The reason why Airbnb is the best business model out there is because it not only teaches you how to invest into real estate, like how cash on cash returns work, what is return on investment, what is your monthly profit margins, like it teaches you how to run comps, look at other properties. But Airbnb also teaches you how to run a company, like how to be a CEO. You have employees, dude. Your cleaners, your handymans, your electricians, how to manage them, managing schedules, cleanings, like you're running an operation.
Totally.
So I learned how to become a really good business owner and a good leader and a good real estate investor just by investing into one asset class.
When was that?
When?
Yeah.
When I started Airbnb in late 2020, 2021.
And you saw success off rip, or what was that process like till you started like seeing like, okay, this is the wave?
So I had another mentor actually. I met this one at the club back then when I was clubbing and shit, when I was spending money, and I thought I was, yeah. So I found a mentor at a club. He's Persian. He was wearing a really nice timepiece. I forgot what it was. I think it was just, at the time, a regular Datejust, a Rolex or whatever. But I thought it was shiny. It was cool. I walked up to him. I was like, hey, bro, what do you do? He was Persian. We started talking. We hit it off. He owned a mortgage company. And yeah, I started to like manage some of his properties. Like I told him what I wanted to do. He saw the work ethic that I had, and he told me to come to his office the next day. We chopped it up. He threw me one of his rentals in like Vienna in Virginia, something that he was living in himself, and he was moving to Florida. So he was like, hey bro, you manage it. Take this. It's already furnished. So all I had to do was photograph it, create an Airbnb listing, make a nice description, and post it. And dude, in the first month, literally the agreement was take whatever you make over the mortgage for yourself. His mortgage was like $3,000. The first month we did $6,500 in revenue. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, holy shit, this is insane. So I pocketed $3,500. Then he put me on a management structure because he realized how much money was in the... He was like, holy fuck, $6,500. So he's like, okay, all right, let's go. Let me put you on a 30% rev share, like management structure. So I was like collecting 30%, just managing his property every single month, like a regular property manager, right? And then I got a few more with him. I had another investor from Dubai come in. He bought some houses. I started reaching out to realtors, asking realtors to give me their investors so I can help them manage their property. So I was a little property manager, bro.
Yeah.
I was running a property management business. I was cleaning toilets and shit. It was cool. It was cool for a while. And then I was like, all right, let's get into, the next level. What's after this? So instead of managing people's houses, I would sign leases with them and take over the entire property for myself. And then eventually, after a while, in 2023, I bought my first house, dude. I went back to my mentor. I slept on my the wholesaling mentor who taught me how to wholesale. The guy I was sleeping on the couch in Philly.
Yeah.
I went back to him and I bought my first house from him because he wholesaled me a house. So he got this house under contract for $80,000. He wholesaled it to me for $100,000, so he made $20,000 off me. That motherfucker. and then I took that house. I fixed it up. Instead of flipping it, I like turned it into an Airbnb. Furnished it. Airbnb it for a while, and then I sold it after. And then I started just buying houses, bro.
Full circle.
Full circle moment. Now we're doing development. Now we build it, bro.
I don't know, man.
It's crazy.
So I wanted to ask you, when you're evaluating a deal, what key numbers or patterns instantly tell you that this is a good one?
That's a good question. The way I figure out if a deal is good or not in real estate is I just look at other real estate properties near mine. Like, it's not rocket science. So, like, people try to complicate it, but I'm really just looking at other houses that look like mine, that are near mine, and I figure out how much they're making. And if that house next door is making $7,000 a month, then it's got a pool, and it's a 4-bedroom single-family house, and my house also has a pool, and it's a 4-bedroom single-family house, there's a good enough chance I can also make $7,000, right? So I'm comparing my house with other houses nearby that have the same amount of amenities. Yeah, exactly. Pattern recognition, I'm running comps. So that's the best way to figure out, like, and with anything in life, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you want to sell your car and it's got this certain spec and it's got certain year, certain mileage, and it's got, the same interior, whatever, you're not going to compare it to a different car that has it's a newer model with lower mileage, right? You want to compare it with similar specs, similar comps. So the same thing on how I compare my houses.
So how did your role shift as you started to scale, and what did you stop doing in order to level up?
What did I stop doing? Yeah, that's a great question. These are good questions, bro.
Thank you, brother.
In order to scale, I had to realize that I just had to really let people believe what they needed to believe in order for me to move on. Because I feel like the biggest thing that holds people back is their mindset and they're just too scared of what other people are going to think of them. So my mindset just turned into like, what is this person going to think and what is that person going to think, to let them think whatever they want. So let me rephrase that question. The way I was able to scale my business and who I was as a person in general is I just started to let people believe whatever they needed to for me to move on faster, right? And for me, it's a lot easier, bro, to let you have your own beliefs towards me than to explain myself to you, right? So I would rather just have you think I'm an X, Y, and Z type of person, and I don't have to prove anything to you and to let me do my own thing. So I started really protecting my energy, hiring business partners. In the beginning, dude, I had a scarce mindset. I was trying to do everything myself because I thought doing everything myself meant more money for myself, like the tree analogy, right? But then I started to realize that, dude, it's not about me anymore. This is bigger than me. Like I have to figure out a way to help more people. Because if I can help more people and provide more solutions to more people, because it's a fucked up world we live in, bro. If I can figure out a way to provide more solutions, I can make more money. How do I provide more solutions faster at a larger scale? Well, I need more of me, right? And like I need more business partners. I need more COOs. I need more CAOs. I need to grow my C-suite executive team. I need to have more employees. I need to grow a team, bro, where I cannot just grow and become rich, but I can do it faster and I can do it more longevity.
So when you talk about growing that team, I feel like earlier you mentioned you had some people cleaning for you. You got different people on your team, like at the properties, taking care of stuff that's not too complicated.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about the management level, there's a lot of knowledge that you probably have acquired over the years that you feel like, okay, I want to make sure this person's fit for this role. I'm not putting like, a random average Joe in this position.
Yeah.
What's that process like, and how do you get yourself like, I want to compare that like ability to put trust in somebody else in that role and give them like, a role where they're helping you in the direction of your business, with when you found a mentor and also humbling yourself to find a mentor. So basically, like, was it a harder process for you to humble yourself and say, okay, I can't run everything on my own, and now that we're expanding at this rate, I have to put different people in different positions? Or was it more humbling and harder for you to say, okay, I can't teach everything on to myself and I need a mentor?
Yeah, I feel like in the beginning it was definitely humbling, and it was an ego thing, bro. I used to have a lot of ego where I was like, dude, this motherfucker can't sell this better than I can. Like, I'm gonna do this shit myself, right? But then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to sell a lot of this product, or I need to clean a lot of these houses, and I can't do it myself. So even though I can find someone else to do it, and they might not do it at the certain capacity that I need them to do it at, if they can still get the job done at like a 75 to 80% like success rate, that's what I would set it at. I'll give it to them, because that'll bring me back 100% of my time that I can spend towards creating another business or getting another property. So where a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck is they're focused on, like running a business, when in reality the business is running them. Okay, they don't know how to scale and see things from a macro perspective. They're so in it. They're doing the cleanings themselves. They're fixing everything themselves. Where in reality, as a business owner, you should be focused on acquisition. That's literally your entire goal as a business owner, is management and acquisition. Your goal should be focusing on managing the people who are running the business, and you shouldn't have to be in the business. You should be on a macro perspective, managing the people. Outside looking in, and your focus should be acquiring new deals. And so, like, once I understood that concept, I was like, oh, okay, I just need to hire more people and delegate. And it's scary because you never want to delegate something you obviously don't know how to do yourself. That's my number one rule of delegating, right? And, like, I'm not saying, like, understand how to build a car before you hire someone to, repair it or build it for you. But what I am saying is do some research. Figure out how the parts work of a car. Figure out how to clean a toilet or how to, service an HVAC system inside of your house.
You.
Exactly. So you're not getting scammed or you're not getting, ripped off. Figure out how it works, but then have someone else do it. And it's okay to delegate because in most cases, the person you're delegating to should be more experienced in that field than you are.
Yeah.
As long as you know how to delegate and what to track metrics on, you don't need to do it yourself.
Smarter to get an expert to do it.
Smarter to get it, yeah. Of course.
So you said your mark was around 70%. If they could do it about that good, then you could expand with that. I feel like that's like a issue that a lot of businesses face, right? I mean, I think I was talking the other day about Dave's Hot Chicken. They just got, expanded like crazy, and I think somebody else just bought them out, and now everybody's saying the quality's gone terribly down. So what's that thought process with when you expand and your quality is going down? Because you want to be known, like you said, for 5-star reviews and for the best properties and everything like that. So how do you balance that, keeping that quality up and also expanding?
So you can't have both. You can't have a quality product but then also expand it and scale it. There's levels and there's processes to it, right? So in the beginning, when I had one property and I had a good system on cleaning it myself and managing it myself, that property had so many 5-star reviews. And you can see because I was on it myself, right? But then I was like, okay, well, this is not sustainable. I need a second property. I need a fourth property. I need an 8th property. I was trying to double it and move, right? And as you scale, obviously the quality of the service deteriorates a little bit in any business. That's just how it works. And so now, once you scale and you're making more money, you can now afford to hire more quality people to come in and manage it. I'm not talking about paying cleaners more money to do a more quality job. No. Once you scale and expand a business, now you hire literally virtual assistants and team managers and individuals to manage those cleaners and to manage those employees and manage those partners. So you don't need to hire smarter and better employees. You just need to hire and replace yourself with a COO or an executive or a business partner to manage those employees. Because most of the time, it's not the employee that needs to be changed. It's the management and who's taking care of them and who's on top of it that needs to be, managed.
Right. So
that's when you can start to invest more money into your back end and into your fulfillment, which is not what a lot of people do. A lot of people, when they see the money and they're scaling fast, they're moving so fast they can't see what's in front of them. And that's the issue. That's how a lot of businesses go bankrupt and they go to shit because they don't know how to sustain it and scale a business properly.
Right. So when you're filling those roles, where do you look to? I think you don't like to put friends in those roles. You like to keep business and relationships separate.
Yeah. In the beginning, everyone says don't mix friends and business together. I disagree. I feel like you can have someone that you have a business relationship with and then become friends with. But doing it the other way around is a little bit difficult because if you're friends with someone first and then you bring them into your business, it's kind of like you trying to put the other person on for no reason. If the other person doesn't have any good business qualities or good business acumen, you're just exposing yourself to liability. You're not only going to have a shitty business, but you're also going to lose a friend when everything does go to shit. So make sure you're hiring people that are qualified to do the role that you want them to do. And then, bro, I'm friends with all my business partners. When I go out, when I go to dinners, when I go to clubs, when I go to parties, when I go on vacation, I'm only doing it with my business partners.
But they started as business partners.
So
do you think it's conditional? If they're friends first, could they ever become partners? Like you said, they just have to be cut out for it, not?
It's really difficult to have a good relationship with someone as a friend and then to bring them into your business because at that point, if you're just leaving room to let the other person slack. Right, because dude, if you come to
hey man,
yeah, it's hey man, it's okay, dude, it's all right. So you fucked up on the cleaning, it's all right, dude. We'll try better next time. When in reality, bro, if I'm talking to my business owner and they don't do what I need them to get done as soon as possible, or to that 70% like success rate or whatever I need them to do it at, they're fired.
Can't play.
Right? You can't play around with your own life, with your own business. And what kind of friend would you be if you let your friends slack?
Yeah.
So it's okay to fire your friends and to say, "Hey, bro, this is not going to work." And so it's really tricky when you do it the other way around. So that's why I like to establish a good business relationship first to make sure our priorities are straight. Because, dude, if we're not making money together, dude, I would be a shitty business partner and I would be a shitty friend to have you keep working with me.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's just not, no one's going to be happy.
Great. So you said you like to make people mad on the internet.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? And how do you balance being on camera and actually running a business behind it?
Yeah, dude. Bro, I be posting a lot of shit on social media just because my job is to wake people up. I mean, we've been lied to from a very, very young age and programmed in a certain manner where we've been lied to and programmed in a certain manner at a young age where everyone thinks they're deserved or entitled to different things. And dude, my mentality towards life is nobody owes you shit, nobody knows who you are, and everyone's going to forget about you when you die. Like, you can't take your money to the grave. The impact that you have to make right now is only temporary until you're gone. So focus on making as many people like successful as possible. Like, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, your brother, your sister, your mother, whatever it is, like, God gave you and put you on this planet to be a vessel to help others out. And if you're not living up to your potential, then you're just a useless human being. And nobody is going to tell you this. And so that's why, like, I get on social media and I say shit like this and people get so angry and mad. And people think there's, like, nobility in poverty. And people think, like, God doesn't care about money and you know, God loves you. And, like, you're wasting God's potential by not being the man that you deserve to be. Like, you, in my opinion, you are not even a faithful person towards God if you aren't a rich person. Because the more money you have, the more impact you're able to make to other people. And that's exactly what God wants for.
We're all going to be asked about what we did was within our capabilities.
Of course.
Like, if you were able to do more and you didn't live up to your potential, that's on you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
God gave us a brain, you know, a mouth, a nose, 2 ears, 2 eyes. Like, you are God's highest form of creation. For you to come, you know, and say, "Oh, I'm depressed and I don't feel like doing this today." And, like, dude, you're like, there's no reason for you to feel that way. So
it's like I give you a gift and you never use it, you never wear it, you never do anything with it. God gave us all these gifts and we never do anything with it. It's ingratitude.
It makes me angry. It makes me so angry because there are hundreds of millions of people out there who are dying for diseases and they live in, like, countries with poor health care. And, dude, if you live in this country and you live in the US and you have literally a social security number and you're able to go out and borrow money to build assets, to gain wealth, and to help other people out, like, you are living in this day and age where nothing's an excuse anymore. So someone needs to say that.
No, 100%. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the approach with it is just to grab the attention, really. Because, you know, a lot of people might meet you in person, but, hey, like, I thought you were an asshole, but, you know.
Well, dude, I'm, like, super, like, raw and organic, bro, in person as well. Like, back then, I would, like, only make videos that, you know, I knew were going to go viral. And now I don't even care about going viral. Like, I literally just pick up the phone and I just document my entire life. Like, I just talk about what I want to talk about. And I just feel like right now in this day and age, we're at such a trust recession because so many people are selling courses and doing crazy shit online. And yeah, everyone's scamming each other online. So I just feel like, you know, being more organic and authentic is like the new, it's the new currency.
That's what I liked the recent stuff you're posting too. It's just like, it's not like, you know, flash. You're doing it also. You're picking up the phone, you're blogging, you're talking about your thoughts, and it's real and it's like, it's honest. It's like, this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm thinking. People like that. Yeah.
I even post my fails, bro. I even post, like, what I'm thinking, the things I fuck up on. Sometimes I pick up the camera, bro, and I post videos to ask other people for advice. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, like, I just dealt with this. Like, if you know how to deal with this situation, comment down below and let me know what I should do. Like, just being more authentic, bro. Acting like I'm talking to someone on FaceTime, right? Because I feel like the crowd and the people that I'm attracting on my social media, I want it to be more like-minded with myself. Like
100%.
I genuinely wish I had a little brother growing up, or like, and this is like my way of like just chopping it up with my audience, like just keeping it real.
Yeah, and they talk about engagement, right? Like that's really what it is. It's just like some people are posting. It's like, okay, I got to be in front of this car doing this thing and be flashy and be cool and everything. But it's like people are looking at you like a alien, like a foreign entity. But then when you're talking to them and you're saying like, hey, I'm relatable. I'm making mistakes. I have failures. I have questions. I even have doubts. They relate to it and they want to engage with it. They want to answer these things.
A lot of people's videos have like crazy edits and crazy montages and like captions and all this shit. And my videos are just no caption, no sound, no edits, just raw. And I feel like the gap between the audience and myself just becomes like a lot closer when you do that. And that's what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build like an organic like audience and a real audience.
Like that. Stemming off that, how do you decide what parts of your journey to show online versus what to keep private?
Yeah, the only thing I would ever keep private is like family, and even with family, I'm trying to expose a little bit more of that. But dude, there's nothing about my life that I'm ashamed of, and there's nothing about my life where I feel like I need to keep private and not to show people, because all the mistakes, all the regrets, all the choices that I should have made that I didn't make, but I also made later down the road, like everything that I've done in my life shaped me to the person that I am today. And there's a lot of people that look up to me and they're like, yo, I want the Ferrari, I want the houses, I want to be you. So they deserve to know all the avenues and all the, times that I also fucked up in my life. Yeah. So for me, dude, like, and it's crazy because I used to have a girlfriend and she was like, oh, well, you need to be more private with this and that. And I'm like, fuck privacy. Like, I'm living this life to help other people out. I made the decision.
It's different for you than somebody who's in a different role.
Yeah, of course.
If you're an average civilian, you have a day job, maybe you want your privacy, that's cool. But all you're in with social media and the platform you're on, I mean, probably a lot of the people who are engaging with your content are potential people who may be interested in learning from you. So they have to know, what does it take, what goes into it. And also, if you don't show them the losses and the, the F-ups and everything, they're not going to think that it's realistic or even attainable. They're going to be like, oh, I messed up this time, so I can't do it. But if they see, okay, he messed up too. He went down 1.7, he came back up. So it's like, I'm not disabled or unable to do this too.
One thing I regret not doing earlier in my life, and I don't regret many things, but one thing I regret not doing is posting more of fucking losses, dude. Because so many people see all the flashy shit online and they're like, oh, this guy made it. And that it's easy and it's simple. And then when they get
overnight success.
Yeah, it's an
overnight for 10 years.
Yeah, and it brings off the wrong opinion and impression, right? Because entrepreneurship is not easy, bro. You have to be so mentally sick and delusional in the head to go through so much adversity to then keep going as well.
Fail enough times until you can't fail anymore.
Exactly.
That's the only other option.
Exactly. So that needs to be more advertised, and that's why I'm trying to keep it more real with the audience.
All right. I want to talk a little about your resilience. Tell me about a deal that went completely wrong, what you did, and how did you handle it, and what did you learn?
So I'll give you a recent example of a deal that just went south. And this was literally like 3 months ago. I was trying to buy my 4th house in Dallas. And I was trying to use the proceeds of the funds that I have sold on one of my other properties in Maryland, to then use that money to 1031 exchange it into another house. So under the IRS code, if you sell a property and you make profit on that house and identify another property to buy within I think it's 3 months, you get to wipe off and be exempt of all your taxes. So that's what I was trying to do. I sold a house in Maryland. I was trying to move that money over to buy another house in Dallas, and everything was going perfect. And, it all went to shit when I sent the final inspection out. So I looked at the house. The numbers were good. It was a brand new build. I even knew the builder who was building it. It was a beautiful property. I have other Airbnbs around that property as well, so I knew that I was going to be really good in terms of revenue. It was projected to make close to $10,000 in revenue a month, bro. And my mortgage was only going to be $4,000. So, you do the math. That's almost after expenses and stuff, I was going to be walking away with around $4,000 in profit just off that one house per month in profit. But it all went to shit because I sent out the inspector. And I went under contract, and the inspection came back, and the builder had like totally messed up on like the sheetrock inside of the house, and the roof was like leaking, and like small things that like, at the moment looked like it was minuscule and didn't matter, but then later down the road, you can't buy a house with a messed up foundation or a messed up roof.
Right.
So that was like one of the biggest deals I had to back out on. I lost my deposit on the house, which was a few $1,000s. But I mean, it was worth it because I would have made a $500,000 mistake if I had bought it versus just a couple $1,000s that I had lost.
So that's one where you kind of took the L and kept it moving rather than taking a bigger one if you went through with it. But was there an example of one where you kind of managed to get out of it? Because I feel like you said this was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
More recent. I feel like you can afford it now a lot easier than maybe you could have 4 or 5 years ago whenever you were starting off. So maybe back then, something that, when you went through, because like an L then probably hit a lot harder and it was something that was like harder to deal with and bounce back from. Was there one where you bounced back from it and you found yourself out of that impossible situation, like back against the wall?
Yeah. So, there's been so many instances. Like,
Tell me the craziest.
The craziest was probably when I had gotten, my first wholesale deal under contract. So this is before I used to do Airbnb. So I did wholesaling for a while. I got my first wholesale deal under contract. And got this house under contract for $100,000 in PG County in Maryland, right? So when I had gotten this house under contract, my goal was to flip this contract for $120,000. I already had an investor in mind. He was already looking for properties in that area to buy and fix up and flip. So I got the contract for $100,000 and I went to the investor to sell it to him for a $20,000 profit. When I went to do that, I have like a 14-day window to sign that contract to that investor. Dude, I went to sign it and he signed the papers and then he came back to inspect the property. And then there's dog shit all over the house, like inside of the house.
Can't make this
up. The homeowner of the house left his dogs while he was on vacation. The dog shat all over the house, bro. I'll put a picture here so you can have it. It's literally everywhere in the house. Yeah. And not only did this buyer back out of the deal and I lost a $20,000 transaction, but I even got a cease and desist and he tried to sue me out there as well.
How long ago was this?
This was
how old were you?
I was 21.
21, okay. I was going to ask, because I've heard stories like people who try to get into it when they're like 16, 17, and then they can't even go through with the contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I had another instance where, like that ATM business that I was trying to set up an ATM, and they came back. Dude, and the lawyer was like threatening the hell out of me. Dude, I've been threatened to, get sued so many times. Just like, me, it's not even ever my fault. It just happens. Like, I'm always the middleman. You know what I mean? That just gets caught holding the bag. So, but I don't mind, dude, because middlemen in this country are one of the richest people in the world. Like, middleman built this country. So, like, if you want to, dude, if you want to make money fast in this day and age, become a middleman, right? Like Airbnb, for example, doesn't own properties, bro. Airbnb is just a platform and the middlemen, and they collect transaction fees off other houses that are being listed. What? Like Spotify doesn't own music, bro. They just have a platform.
Put your music here. We'll give you pennies on the dollar.
Exactly. Amazon doesn't own the products. They just facilitate and ship the orders out. So like every multi-billion-dollar conglomerate business you could think of has and is a middleman in some way.
Yeah, 100%. So was there a moment when you genuinely thought about quitting? And if so, what pulled you back in?
Every single day. I was like, dude, the amount of stress and anxiety, I still think about it to this day. I'm like, dude, I could easily just sell everything and just move to Colombia and fuck off.
Well, that's retiring, right? But would it be quitting? It's like, I didn't make it and I'm going to go back to work at a day job.
Well, bro, right? Retiring was also quitting.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about why God put us on this planet. It's to impact as many people as possible. If you retire on your own, you're just a selfish person who decided to quit, right? But like, dude, there's got to be something inside of you to help you keep going, right? So you have to have this purpose. You have to have the why to not quit. And that is why you have to have, like, some people it's a vision board. Some people it's their family. Some people it's retiring their mother and paying off a mortgage. Like, your purpose has to be strong enough, just a little bit more than you wanting to quit.
Right.
Like, you wanting to quit is a normal feeling everyone has. Like, I'm not a robot, bro. Like, I have emotions, I have feelings. Like, shit happens to me. I get, fucked up in the head, and I want to quit, and I want to throw the towel every single day. But I just don't do it because my purpose is just a little bit higher than my motivation to quit.
Fire. Are you, in the worldly sense, a success?
Do I think I'm successful?
Do you think you're a success in the worldly sense?
I am thankful enough to be able to help a lot of people out and put food on the table. And I don't think I'm successful yet, bro. There's just so many more levels to climb. And I feel like this is just maybe me, or maybe it's a disease I have, but I'm never going to be complacent or happy or, of whatever situation I'm in, because I always know there's more. So I don't know what the end goal is. For me, I'm at the stage and day of my life where feeling and seeing other people succeed makes me fulfilled. And in turn, I feel like I've succeeded in being a good, coach and a good partner and a good, boyfriend or a good son or whatever it is. Like, I play so many different roles and responsibilities in every single avenue of life. And just being able to juggle everything, yeah, I mean, that's fulfilling enough to me.
Yeah, I like that you said play a lot of roles. I think we that's our role as men on Earth, is just there's a lot of different things that we need to be doing, a lot of roles to fill, a lot of hats to wear.
Yeah.
On that note, do you think that the roles are innately different or skewed? Whereas for men, they're generally said that they're only valued if they bring something to the table, if they're providing, if they're doing certain things. They're only loved conditionally, whereas women and children are loved unconditionally.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah. I mean, it's a double standard. When men and women are completely different. I mean, our job as men is to provide, to protect, to provide a, financial supporting place and emotionally stable place for our females, for our women. And a physically safe space as well, bro. That's literally what we're called to do as men, right? And any man who can't do those things is considered a low value man, and that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of low value men and a lot of low value females out there, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But dude, if you want to be a high value man, you need to provide and protect for your loved ones and for your family and for everyone you're responsible for, and in return, as a female, your job is to also provide that nurturing, caring environment. Like, I don't want to come home from work and fucking start another argument and talk about some bullshit when I'm already dealing with bullshit on a day-to-day basis, and I already feel like I'm at war. I don't need to start another, you know what I mean? So having that safe space is something that's really important. And a lot of women don't provide that nowadays, and that's why they don't find high value men. They like to control and they like to fight and just go against the grain with everything. In return, it's also our fault as men, because a lot of men are low value, and a lot of low value men just accept that they can't provide and protect financially. And so now what happens? The shift in focus becomes onto the women, and now women have to do a man's job to not only provide and protect, but also give a nurturing and caring environment as well. And so now the rule,
what that guy's saying anyways.
So the female's not going to respect you, and now the roles are reversed, and everyone's and that's the biggest issue with this Western society, and that's why you see so many high value men going out to other countries to find their wives or to find their partners. It's because it's so fucked up nowadays, how it is structured here.
How do you manage burnout, stay grounded, and find rest amidst the hustle?
Travel more. Burnout. I've tried everything, dude. I've tried energy drinks. I've tried going to the gym. I've tried waking up early. None of that shit works. The best way to avoid burnout is to travel, because literally the definition of a burnout is you doing the same thing every single day over and over again with the same exact schedule, clocking into the same routine. Eventually you're going to be tired of your life. That's how you burn out. You feel like you're just smashing against the wall and doing the same thing over and over again. So when you travel more and you change your environment and you experience more culture and you go out and touch grass and breathe air and shit, right? You can get yourself out of that routine and get yourself out of that burnout phase. So whenever I feel like I'm burning out, I always tell my partner or my business partners, my team, I'm like, yo, I'm about to book a vacation and I'm out, dude. Or like I'm
expand your horizons.
Just like it doesn't even have exactly. It doesn't have to be a vacation. Like the easiest way to get out of a burnout is to just relocate. Like that's why I have a vacation house in Florida. That's why I have a vacation house in Colombia. That's why I have a house, a personal house in Dallas. I even have a personal house. I have like 4 personal homes across the country.
Yeah, it goes back to what you were just saying about gratitude in a way too, because it's like if we're free to roam the earth and go explore and see God's creation, like why are we not doing it? Why are we just staying put in Rockville?
Well, I'll tell you why, bro. It's because a lot of people have conditioned their lives to someone else's schedule, someone else's routine. They're working on someone else's time clock and literally trading their time for fucking dollars. And at the end of the day, like it doesn't fucking matter how much they're getting paid.
As you're like brainwashed, like you said.
Yeah,
they think I have to be here.
Of course,
I can't move.
Dude, the best way to avoid a burnout and to become successful and to really live life to the fullest is to figure out how you can make your income remotely online. It doesn't even have to be passive. Everyone's like, oh, make passive income and passive income this. Nothing's passive in life. They've all been lying to you. Nothing is passive. Don't worry about passive income. You're not Warren Buffett, bro. Nothing's going to be passive until you're 80 years old and you have $1 billion, all right?
I can't DM you passive.
Exactly. No, do not, no. Nothing. If you want to make passive income, understand that first you have to make your income remotely, okay? 85 to 90% of it can be passive if you set up the right systems. But focus on turning your income from trading your time for money into having something that you can make online. Because once you make money online remotely, then you can travel and do whatever you want and hire teams in place where you can replace yourself. And then once you replace yourself in your own business, then that's when it becomes passive.
Yeah, 100. Going back to that tree analogy again, that's the one thing where we are different is we're not trees and that we can move. Like we're not rooted in one spot.
Literally, bro. Just get up. And like, oh, but what are my friends are going to say about me? What are my parents going to say about me? It's like, I'm literally talking to one of my employees right now, and I love her to death, and she's an amazing person. But she's just so scared to make the jump because she's been in this complacent, and that's okay. She's been in a good, comforting environment her entire life, and she's worried about what her parents are going to think, what her friends are going to think. She's got the car, she's got the house she lives in, everything. She's got the perfect routine, but if you're not growing as a person, what's the point? What's the point? So, because you can buy the cars and the houses and everything over again. So, just I literally moved out of my hometown, bro, 4 times. I moved out of Maryland when I was 18. Then I went to Virginia. Then I moved out of Virginia. Then I went to DC. Then I moved out of DC. Then I went to Dallas. Then I moved out of Dallas and bought a vacation house in Florida. Like, bro, if I ever feel like I'm like staying complacent or in a zone of complacency, I need to move. I need to get out. I feel like I'm a shark being put into this small fish tank, and I need to smash out of it.
100%. Yeah. What was your favorite place that you moved to?
Dude, Dallas was probably one of the best spots I've moved to because that's when I was able to really scale my business. Because the business opportunity in Texas is just astronomical. It's crazy. Like there's a lot of young people and young entrepreneurs who are going after it in the real estate business, the real estate space, especially, bro, in Texas. However, Florida was also like, you have South Florida, the Miami, and, that's also...
It's always been a popular destination.
It's always been popular, and a lot of people are like, oh, Miami's toxic. Like, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I don't live in Miami. I live in Fort Lauderdale.
It's a vacation spot.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, just close in proximity enough to, like, get those connections and because Miami, dude, there's so much money in that city. So...
100%. How have your personal values and maybe your faith shaped the way that you do business and live life overall?
I'm very moderate with my faith in the terms of like, actually I take that back. I'm very strict with my faith, but moderate with my religion, right? And so a lot of people you'll see are super faithful and religious people, and they do everything by the book, and they don't drink, and they don't smoke, and and they don't eat pork, and all these small things. But then you turn around and like you figure out that as an individual, the person's not sane. He's not a normal person. He's like maybe scamming people. He's doing things that are unethical that he shouldn't be doing. I know a lot of religious people who are just bad people. Like, they just do bad things to other people. And I'm like, dude, that is not what you're supposed to be doing. So
they're not practicing it the right way.
They're not practicing it the right way, and it's a cop out, right? Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm Muslim and I don't drink and I don't smoke, and I don't eat pork, but you know, like there's this tobacco shop where I can use all my money that I make from Dubai and launder it through, or like there's this jewelry business that I have that I can just like, and I see this shit all the time, dude, and I'm like, bro, that is not right. So that is why I'm like moderate with my religion. I'm really strict with my faith because I know God has a plan for us and I know what I'm supposed to be doing on this planet. And as long as I'm treating other people with the same respect that I expect in return, and I'm doing right by everyone, I know at the end of the day, like, that's all that matters.
Right. God has perfect justice, so if you're doing right by other people, it'll probably come back around the same way, and if you're not, it'll come back around the same way.
Yeah, good karma, bad karma.
Yeah, and also on that topic, you don't have to judge people too hard to know, like, because we don't know their situation necessarily, right? What they're doing. On the outside looking in, it may look shifty, it may look a little bit hypocritical at times, but I like to say that, you know, if they're making their efforts, you know, we all fall short in different ways, yeah. So...
But sometimes it's okay to judge people too, right?
Almost a parent.
Because, exactly, and God calls us to judge people because... you having the knowledge and the capacity to know something that someone else doesn't, it's your responsibility to not only judge but teach them. Hey, like here's what we should do instead. It's like a we thing. Let's do this together. Like, don't just judge someone and you move on, right? Yeah. Because then you're like, all right, like you're not providing any value. Like if I'm judging someone and I'm telling them they're wrong for doing something, it's also my responsibility to provide a solution to help them.
Otherwise, you're just,
Otherwise, you're just a dick.
Yeah, you're just bullying them. It's like, okay, I'm going to guide you. I'm going to show you, hey, there's something better you could be doing. Definitely. You're helping others through mentorship and education.
Yeah.
I think we kind of talked about what drives that. I was going to lead up to that, but we talked about it a little bit. If you want to expand on that, you can. And also, what's the most rewarding part?
Again, most rewarding part is not even the money. It's just like literally speaking at this event that I was at yesterday. The most rewarding part about mentoring and coaching other people is having them walk up to you and be like, dude, you changed my life. Like, I no longer have to work anymore. And my girlfriend and I are like, you know, we're finally able to take care of like our kids and our parents are retired. Like, things like that are just not tangible. You can't put
it's not transactional.
Yeah, you can't put a price tag on that. It's like, yeah, they might have paid me X amount of dollars to help them out, but dude, like,
that was just for the time. That wasn't really.
That's just for my time. Pay me for my time. That's it, bro. Yeah. But like, dude, changing someone's life is priceless.
Definitely. Yeah. What's the top lesson you learned from your mentors, and how do you pass that forward?
One of the biggest lessons I learned from my mentor is just recently, and that's to just let them. Like, let people think whatever they want, let people do whatever they want. Don't take anything personally, and it's just to let them live their own lives. And if that's how they want to treat you, or if that's how they want to treat themselves or live their own lives, or it's okay, bro. Like, it's not your responsibility. It's not your It's not your responsibility to help someone if they are not trying to help themselves.
100%. Yeah. They want it too. They have to want it too. You can't want it for them and then it's like, let me help you, or help me help you. Yeah. So what's next for you? New ventures, goals, or directions for at least the next year or two?
Yeah, I want to help more people out. Like, genuinely, I want to make it a goal to help at least at least 100 more people out, like this upcoming year in 2026. Take on 100 more students, and then just to cap it, like literally the last batch of students. And I want to do it through mentorship, and I want to do it through coaching, and I want to do it through speaking on more events, on podcasts like this. Hopefully someone watching this podcast can learn something. I also want to, I'm a student as well. I want to learn, right? The event I was just speaking at, that had like 50 or 60 people. After the event, the owner came in, he was like, dude, I appreciate you speaking. we'd love to have you again. And I'm like, I'd love to come under the condition that I want to be the person sitting in the crowd. I don't want to speak anymore. I want to listen. Next time you invite me, have someone else speak. Like I'm 25 years old, bro. Everyone in that room was at least 20 to 30 years older than I was.
You've seen stuff.
They've seen shit that I can never even think about. So like I feel like I'm happy to provide value and to show people things that maybe they don't know and to shed some light on different areas of real estate. But I want to learn too.
Time's the best teacher, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What's a common myth about real estate or entrepreneurship that you think people should stop believing? We can go both. So real estate first.
Yeah, real estate, I'd say everyone thinks real estate's like 100% passive. It's not. It's like 80 to 85% if you set up the systems correctly. Another big myth when it comes to real estate is they think you need money to get into real estate, or they think a lot of people think they need a real estate license or a ton of capital to buy real estate or experience. I didn't have any of these things. All you need is someone who has the experience to learn from, but you yourself, I mean, everyone starts somewhere. Everyone starts at zero at some point in time. And, like finding someone who has that expertise level can like collapse your time very, very fast and help you scale a lot faster.
Yeah, rapidly. And then regarding entrepreneurship, what's the myth that people believe about that they should break?
That entrepreneurship, the biggest myth about entrepreneurship is everyone thinks that it's going to provide you more time in a comfortable environment and that you can set your own schedule. But in reality, you're working 10 times harder than the average person who works a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
Because there is no, like, you're running every single part of the business, right?
They got off of work and they don't care what happens to that company. But
exactly.
That's your whole baby.
Think about it. When you work a 9-to-5 job, you are working in one department of a company. Who owns that company, right? The owner. Well, God, obviously, right? You pointed out, it's God owns everything. But the person who owns that company, imagine how many departments he's in charge of.
Yeah.
Hundreds, thousands. So if you want to become an owner of a company, you're no longer working in your own department. You now have like 30 to 50 other hats and shoes to fill. So you're never sleeping, bro. Be ready to like sacrifice your sleep and your mental sanity. Like you will go insane trying to prove to yourself that this shit's going to work when nobody else believes in you.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Exactly.
What's the biggest mindset shift that took you from just hustling to a business owner now?
Purpose and impact. Like hustling is just to get by and make some cash so you can pay off your car or pay off your house, or you're always chasing bag to pay something off, right? When you're hustling, it's super short term. But when you're trying to like run a business or run something long term, I mean, you need to have a really big amount of impact, and you need to impact as many people as possible. And your purpose and your why has to be a lot bigger than just a hustle.
Yeah. How do you decide what opportunities to chase and which to ignore?
Depends on what area of life and what aspect.
Yeah. We can take it in business and we can take it in life in general.
Yeah. So like
it's multifaceted.
So what I would chase back then, right, is not something that I would chase now to this day. Like back then, I would chase, an opportunity to learn from someone or to sleep on someone's couch or to become a mentee or to become a student. Now at this day and age, like I have enough experience in what I do, and I have enough teams set up, and I have enough business partners where I can pay for just talent, right? And if I can't find a direct ROI on my talent, then I won't do it. So there's different like stages and seasons of life that you can go through. But dude, it's just like how like the way I like figure out what I'm gonna do and if I'm gonna take on this project or not is like how much stress and anxiety and fucking bullshit is gonna cause me. How much money do I have to invest into it, and what is the return?
Do you have any doubts in those processes? Like, are you a person who doubts yourself a lot now, or you're
No,
quickly make a decision and go with it?
I doubt everyone else but me, bro. And like I'm first to doubt other people before I doubt myself.
So it's like the idea comes and you just go with it, not really hesitating.
When an idea or a business comes, I don't doubt myself. I know I could pull it off. I know I could. If tomorrow I wanted to go into the NBA, bro, like I know I could pull it off. If I wanted to become a professional soccer player, I know I could do it. But it's like, you know, obviously that's not the season of life I'm in, but having that strong...
Kanye?
Huh?
Kanye said that in the interview, he said if I wanted to go to the NBA, I could.
Yeah.
The was like, what? No, you couldn't. He kept on doubling down. He's like, yes, I could.
Yeah, bro, because like you have to be delusional enough to believe that you can do anything you want. Otherwise, if you're selling yourself short, you'll never get anything done. Yeah. So whenever I take on another project or a business, I always know I could. I trust in myself. I know I could rely on myself and trust in myself to get the job done. But it comes down to like, okay, well, how do I scale this? Can I trust other people? And who do I need to hire? And so it was like systems and business partners and, you know, stabilizing a company, bro. It's not easy.
So what was that moment that we talked about systems? You realized you needed to start building a team instead of doing everything yourself. First property, second.
I wanted to move faster. And a lot of people have that number in mind. They're like, okay, well, I need to make 10K a month and I'll be good. Or I need to make 50K a month and I'll be good, or I just need to pay my car note off and I'll be good. Like, there was no number in mind for me, and that is why I just wanted to move as fast as possible, and I realized I can't do that alone.
How do you set goals by year, quarter, or just vibes?
Neither, just 1% better every day. Yeah. Like if I'm not bettering myself financially, physically, emotionally, mentally by 1% every single day, then what the hell am I doing with my life? I just feel like a waste.
What's your content strategy? And do you plan videos or do you just post whatever feels real?
I just post whatever feels real. I haven't planned a video since 2024. I literally pick up the phone and I document my life. I pretend like there are other people who are genuinely like curious and serious on getting into Airbnb business or real estate business, just like that kid did who came to my event, who literally had one property 2 years ago, who now has 5 just from watching my content. I pretend like there's more of those people out there who are watching my content. Yeah. And so I pump out as much value and informational content as much as possible to help those types of people out. Now, some people I understand watch my content for entertainment and they just want to scroll, and that's completely fine. But for the 1% who actually takes action on my content, dude, you could build a whole freaking Airbnb business just by watching my Instagram and YouTube videos. You don't need to buy my mentorship. You don't like, the only reason why anyone would buy my mentorship program is because they would need or want extra help or extra coaching or my physical time with them. Otherwise, dude, you can go through my YouTube content, my Instagram, and like literally create a 6 to 7 figure Airbnb business just watching my stuff for free. Yeah.
We got to do another one of these soon. I want to wrap up because we've had a good conversation. Real quick, what's your thoughts about AI and how that's affecting what you're involved in right now?
Yeah, you gotta get ahead of that. AI is something that we implement into our business. I need to do a better job of implementing it more. Okay, but we implement AI a lot into my Airbnb business. We're starting to implement it into our consulting business as well. But I mean, dude, AI is gonna replace a lot of people, and if you can't create a high income skill or develop a skill that's scarce that people will need, AI will replace you forever.
For sure. All right, let's go rapid fire to wrap it up.
Okay.
Profit or purpose?
Purpose.
Cash flow or equity?
Equity.
What's harder, starting or scaling?
Scaling.
What's one business myth you hate hearing?
What?
What's one business myth you hate hearing?
It's passive.
Biggest waste of money new entrepreneurs make?
Biggest mistake of money?
Biggest waste of money new entrepreneurs make?
Buying materialistic things.
One thing every business owner should automate?
Systems.
Hire fast or hire slow?
Slow. Hire slow, fire faster.
Meetings or messages?
Meetings.
What's one software you can't live without?
AI softwares for sure.
What's your favorite way to close a deal?
Phone calls.
How do you celebrate a business win?
With the team.
What's the most expensive mistake you've made?
not investing into myself and my education earlier.
If your business disappeared tomorrow, what's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you'd start again?
Learning learning a sales skill, learning a business revolve around sales.
What skill makes someone unstoppable in business?
Sales, knowing how to communicate, how to talk to people, how to sell yourself.
What's your most unpopular business opinion?
It's easy.
Is entrepreneurship for everyone?
No,
Better to be overconfident or underconfident?
over.
What motivates you more, fear of failure or love of winning?
Love of winning.
Do you believe in luck or strategy?
Strategy.
Would you rather have 10 loyal clients or 100,000 followers? You already have 100,000 followers, so.
I would have 10 loyal clients. I don't care about any followers or anything at all.
Morning person or night owl?
I used to be a night owl. I feel like there's different seasons of life that you have to go through. We were actually talking about this yesterday. Now I'm going into the morning season because I feel like the difference is when you wake up earlier, you get that endorphin kick and that rush, and you're ready to crush the day. So morning.
How do you reset after a bad day?
Wake up tomorrow and do it all over again. You have there's no other alternative. What's the alternative?
What's your biggest daily non-negotiable?
Gym.
When you feel overwhelmed, what's your first move?
Gym.
Discipline or motivation?
Discipline.
You believe in balance or obsession?
Delusion.
What's a quote or saying that's changed how you think?
Having the courage to start and the discipline to endure will make success just inevitable in a matter of time.
What's your definition of success?
Fulfillment.
Who do you call when things fall apart?
My business partners, myself, God, I pray.
When did you last truly reset?
Every quarter, whenever I travel. I hit resets whenever I travel.
What's one mental habit you had to unlearn?
That it's going to happen overnight. Instant gratification.
What's your biggest distraction right now?
People, women.
What does peace mean to you?
Peace? I don't think that in this lifetime, I don't think that's something that I would ever accomplish or achieve, bro. I feel like that's not my job at all, and that's not what I'm called to, subdue on this earth. There's nothing about my life that's peaceful, bro.
How do you stay humble when you're winning?
You spend your winnings with the people that you want it with, and your team and the people who are around you.
One trait that separates winners from everyone else.
Just delusion and never quitting.
What's something you wish more men talked about openly?
Their faith and being more open about like their struggles, I would say, because that's something that I need to do better on as well.
What's something failure taught you that success couldn't?
That it's okay to fail and it's just a part of the process, and that there is no light without dark.
Do you believe in manifestation or just work?
Just work.
What do you tell yourself if you're doubting yourself?
Just work harder.
Legacy or lifestyle?
Legacy.
What scares you most about success?
That there's a time clock and one day that we're all going to die, and if you can't accomplish what you need to accomplish in this lifetime, future generations will be affected because you decided to choose complacency over what you just needed to work harder on.
What do you want people to say about you when you're gone?
That motherfucker set us up for life.
If you could teach one principle to your younger self, what would it be?
To eat shit and fall forward faster.
What's your long-term vision outside of money?
Legacy, building a family, and to give back to as many people as possible, to impact and to make as much money so I can do all those things.
Do you care about recognition or just results?
Results, because once you get enough results, you will get the recognition.
What's one risk you're glad you took?
Not going to... One risk I'm glad I took was investing into mentors and coaches, because they generally changed my life, and I wouldn't be where I am today without any of them.
If your story became a book, what would the title be?
BLITZ.
What's the next chapter of your life called?
BLITZ. Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, all socials, Reed Abedini, Reedabedini. I respond to a lot of my DMs. I do a really good job of getting back to people. So DM me on Instagram. Let's chop it up and let's see if we can help you out.
Yeah, I hope y'all benefit from this.